Oh, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, been about 2 months since I went out with a camera, and I'll explain why. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a fall at a party I went to, and I wasn't actually drunk. I hadn't drank a single drop, but basically I fell down a couple of steps and really badly sprained my ankle. So yeah, I'm back out, and hopefully I can start making some more videos again. Back out with Steve tonight. He's a good way up that way. We're at a windmill called Tysoe Windmill. I have been here once before, a couple of years ago after the first lockdown, to try and do some astrophotography. And there's a windmill, I'm not sure if you can make it on the camera, but there's a windmill on top of this hill back here, which is getting some lovely golden side lights at the moment. And yeah, the plan tonight really is to try and incorporate the windmill with the moon, which is pretty much a full moon at the moment. That's going to rise at about 11 o'clock tonight, I believe, and it should rise sort of over the top of this hill, over the windmill. So it's going to be a job, I think, for the super telephoto lens, really zooming in, just trying to bring out the size of the moon and obviously the windmill itself. So that's the plan. It's a little bit difficult because obviously the windmill is pretty covered in loads of trees. So it's about trying to find a shot really, which, you know, I can see most of the windmill and obviously get a good view of the moon. But anyway, we're going to wander around here for a bit. It's a good hour until sunset, so we might get some good sunset images. But we're just going to walk around this field a bit and try and find a good composition ready for tonight when it gets dark. And then hopefully get some good compositions for sunset. So come along and let's see what we get. Right, I'm not going to talk for too long because the sun is quite rapidly setting, but we've walked the way up to the windmill. The foot's held up, a little bit of twinge. Just to mention, I'm not the only cripple out tonight. Steve's also not been out for a few weeks. He's had a knee operation, so yeah, we're looking after each other. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful windmill, really, really old. What I'm thinking for sunset, unfortunately there's no clouds behind the windmill, which I would really like. Some beautiful clouds out towards where the sun is, but I'm getting some lovely side light lighting up these grasses. So I'm going to try and get down low with the camera, I think, try and incorporate some of these with the light and the windmill. Just being really careful to place the windmill between these sets of trees. I don't want to really intersect with that, just to give it some balance really. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a play around, see if I can find a composition that works, and I'll talk you through it when I find one. Okay, so walk round to the other side of the windmill. There's some lovely side light coming in from the left hand side, just lighting it up, and as I mentioned before, I wanted to get down low in amongst these grasses because there's some lovely light just sort of illuminating them. The light's gone now, but I might have just grabbed one which I think might work okay, but I won't know until I get back into the PC. But basically what I was doing, I was trying to frame up the windmill with these reeds and just trying to get it sort of in between them. And I'm getting particularly low because there is behind the windmill, right off in the distance, there's like this dark layer of hill which I found a bit distracting, so I wanted to try and cut that out if I could. Should be an okay image. I've tried to focus stack, so I've tried to, you know, focus on these reeds and focus on the windmill, but because the reeds are moving that much, it's a bit of a challenge. So I might just opt for a image where basically I'm leaving these grasses out of focus and just really focusing in on that windmill. But again, I'll wait till I go back into the PC and see what I prefer. Tried a couple of images, one in landscape, one in portrait, and yeah, I think I'm preferring portrait on this, really because it just gives that bit of open space above the windmill that I wouldn't otherwise get. So if these work out any good, I'll pop them on the screen. Let me know what you think in the comments. But as I say, I think we're pretty much done for sunset now. So really it's just about really walking around now, trying to find compositions for when the moon comes out later. The good thing is there are some clouds in the sky, but it is generally quite clear, so we should get a good shot of the moon. Ideally, what I'd really like is a few of these really light wispy clouds just sort of slightly covering the moon, just to give it that little edge. So yeah, let's see what happens later. But as I say, that's sunset done. Gonna chill out for a little bit, find some compositions for tonight, and then hope for the best. As a concept, I actually quite like this image. I think it's got a lovely summery feel to it, but I can't look past some really basic errors that I just didn't think about when I was in the field. But let's talk about some of the positives. I do love that golden side light on the side of the windmill, and the light that's catching some of the grasses in the foreground. I even quite like the out of focus movement in the grasses there. But for me, the biggest issue really was the bottom left sail on the windmill. The way it's lined up against the sort of the line of the top of the windmill, for me just really isn't acceptable. You know, that's something that I could have easily resolved in the field had I just put a bit more thought into it. By moving a little bit to the right, I think I would have had a bit more separation for that sail. And I think I really put that down to time or lack of it. I really didn't give myself enough time to try and find a composition before the sun went down. So yeah, just something to point out. I think if I was to go back there again, that's something I'd have to pay a lot more attention to, give myself a lot more time, and I think I would have got a much stronger image. But yeah, it's been a couple of months since I've been out with the camera, so feeling a bit fresh to it all. And yeah, as I say, when I return in future, I will give myself a bit more time to think about the composition and try and get a much stronger image. Alright, so I started packing away and realised I made a bit of an error tonight. Obviously, since I last used the camera, which was a couple of months ago, I didn't realise I left it in APS-C mode. So all my files that would normally be 42 megapixels are going to be 18. Not a big issue, but I just realised as I was packing, I was thinking, well, I'm on a 17mm lens. I should be getting more negative space around the windmill. And then it just suddenly clicked. Yeah, I've left it in APS-C mode. So note to everyone out there, don't do that. Anyway, as I say, gonna chill out a little bit, try and find some compositions for tonight. The moon, you see the windmill here, the moon should be setting rising, sorry, over this way. So yeah, I want to try and find a composition that way, looking back on the windmill to get the moon in. So that's the plan anyway. The sun's pretty much gone down now. We are getting some nice pink hues in the sky, to be honest with you, from some of these high level clouds. So I'm going to probably head over that way actually and see if we can try and make something of that. Anyway, waffling on a little bit, but yeah, as I say, going to walk around, try and find some more compositions, and wait for it to get dark. Take two. I just had a whole spiel a minute ago and forgot to turn the microphone on, so apologies, but I'm going to go through this all again. I think I just heard an owl. The windmill shot we were looking for, I don't think is going to work, unfortunately. There's too many trees around the windmill and no real clean line of sight to get the windmill and the moon kind of in conjunction. So yeah, we're going to give that one a miss, but all is not lost. So you definitely won't see this on the camera, but just behind us there's a set of 3 trees, and in about an hour and a half's time the moon should rise just in between those trees, along with a conjunction with Saturn, I believe. So we're going to stick around for a bit, see if we can get that shot. If we can, fantastic. If not, then, well, I don't really care. It's just been great to get out, for the first time in a couple of months now. So, yeah, stick around and we'll see if we can get these shots. All right, so we've just caught the moon rising. What a beautiful sight. Lovely, like, bright orange colour as it came up. I think we've got it just in the right place. So I've got the moon on the sort of the left-hand third, and then there's this silhouette of these three trees on the bottom right-hand third. It's going to require quite a bit of editing in Photoshop to really bring those two together because it's such a dynamic range. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to edit this. If it works out, I'll pop it on the screen. But yeah, that's us done. So as I say, I'm not sure if this is going to turn out, but I've really enjoyed getting out. It's been, as I say, so long since I've been out taking photos, and it's, yeah, been really good. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope the next video is not going to be too long till it comes out, and see you soon.